Scene script. Have you ever wondered why people behave the way they do? What if you could read their minds? Imagine if you could decode the complex maze of human behavior to understand the why behind the what. We're about to embark on an intriguing journey, exploring 25 psychological tips that could help you read anyone instantly. These key insights will unlock a new perspective, a fresh understanding of the human psyche. So, buckle up as we dive into the fascinating world of human psychology. Scene script. Starting with our first 5 tips. Let's dive right in. Tip 1. Pay attention to body language. This is our most primal form of communication, and it can speak volumes about a person's feelings or intentions. For instance, crossed arms might indicate discomfort or defensiveness, while open palms suggest honesty and openness. Remember, body language is a complex dance, so try not to jump to conclusions based on one signal alone. Moving on to tip 2, let's talk about eye contact. Eye contact is a powerful tool in communication. Maintaining it shows confidence and engagement. However, too much of it can be perceived as aggressive or confrontational. On the flip side, lack of eye contact might suggest discomfort, shyness, or even dishonesty. So, keep an eye out for those eye behaviors. Next, tip 3, observe facial expressions. The human face is incredibly expressive, capable of conveying countless emotions without saying a word. A genuine smile, for instance, creates crinkles around the eyes and lifts the cheeks. A forced smile, however, only involves the mouth. So, learning to decode facial expressions can give you a deeper understanding of people's true emotions. Now, tip 4, be conscious of micro-expressions. These are fleeting, involuntary facial expressions that occur within a fraction of a second. They can reveal a person's true feelings, even when they are trying to hide them. For example, a quick grimace might indicate discomfort, even if the person is smiling a moment later. Finally, tip 5, take note of personal space. Everyone has their own comfort zone regarding physical distance. If someone consistently keeps a wide berth, they might be uncomfortable or uninterested. Conversely, someone who consistently invades personal space might lack respect for boundaries or be overly familiar. Those were our first few tips, simple yet crucial in understanding human behavior. Let's continue this intriguing journey into the human psyche in the next segment. Scene script, moving on to the next set of tips. Tip 6 is about vocal cues. The tone, pitch, and volume of someone's voice can reveal a lot about their emotional state. A high-pitched, fast-paced speech often indicates excitement or anxiety, while a low tone might suggest calmness or seriousness. Pay attention to these subtle shifts in voice because they might just be the key to understanding someone's unspoken feelings. 7th on our list is the understanding of personal space. Everyone has an invisible bubble around them, a comfort zone. Some people have larger bubbles, indicating they value personal space and might be more introverted. Others have smaller bubbles, suggesting they're comfortable with closeness and might be more extroverted. Respect these boundaries and observe when someone is trying to maintain or close the gap. Our 8th psychological tip is the concept of mirroring. This is when a person unconsciously mimics the gestures, speech pattern, or attitude of another. It's a sign that they are trying to build rapport or agree with you. If you notice someone is mirroring your actions, it's a good sign that they are engaged and interested in what you're saying or doing. Coming to the 9th tip, physical touch. How and when a person touches another can reveal a lot about their relationship and feelings towards each other. A light touch on the arm might indicate comfort and familiarity, while a firm handshake might indicate respect and professionalism. Be mindful of these touches as they can provide insight into unspoken dynamics. And finally, tip 10 is about body orientation. The direction in which a person is facing can tell you where their attention is. If they are oriented towards you, it's a good sign that they are interested and engaged. Conversely, if their body is turned away, they might be disinterested or looking to exit the conversation. Remember, these cues are subtle, but once you're aware, you'll start noticing them everywhere. Let's now delve into some more complex aspects of reading people instantly. Our 11th tip is to pay attention to behavior patterns. People are creatures of habit, and these habits can tell you a lot about them. For instance, someone who consistently arrives late may struggle with time management or may not value other people's time. Tip number 12 is about mirroring. This is a subconscious behavior where people mimic the gestures, speech patterns, or attitudes of someone they are interacting with. If you notice someone mirroring your actions, it's a good sign they feel connected and comfortable with you. But be aware, skilled manipulators can also use this technique to create a false sense of rapport. Moving on to tip 13, we look at how people react to stress. It's easy to be composed when everything is going smoothly, but how someone reacts under pressure can reveal a lot about their character. Do they remain calm and solution-oriented, or do they become defensive and shift blame? Our 14th tip is to observe how people treat those they perceive as less important than them. This could be waitstaff at a restaurant, a junior employee, or even a stranger on the street. It's often said that true character is revealed not in how we treat our equals, but in how we treat those who can do nothing for us. Finally, tip 15 focuses on body language, particularly posture. A person who stands tall with their shoulders back is often confident and self-assured. On the other hand, someone who slouches or avoids eye contact may lack self-esteem or feel insecure. Remember, these tips are not foolproof, and context is always key. People are complex and their behavior can be influenced by a host of factors. But by paying attention to these subtleties, you'll start to get a better read on the people around you. Isn't it fascinating how much our behavior can reveal? Next up, we'll look at some psychological phenomena that can offer us fascinating insights into human behavior. Let's dive into the next 5 psychological tips, focusing on cognitive biases, group dynamics, and the power of silence. Tip 16 is understanding the halo effect. This cognitive bias can cause our initial impression of someone to influence how we perceive their other traits. If we think someone is attractive, we might also perceive them as more intelligent or kind, even if we don't have any evidence of these traits. It's crucial to recognize this bias in ourselves and others. Moving on to tip 17, let's talk about groupthink. This psychological phenomenon occurs when people in a group prioritize harmony and uniformity over critical thinking. They avoid conflict and suppress dissenting opinions, leading to poor decision-making. So, if you notice someone always agreeing with the group, they might be a victim of groupthink. Our 18th tip revolves around the bandwagon effect. This cognitive bias influences people to believe or do things because many other people do or believe the same. It's the psychological basis for trends and fads. If someone jumps on every new trend, they're likely influenced by the bandwagon effect. Tip 19 is all about the power of silence. Silence can be a powerful communication tool. It can indicate comfort, discomfort, contemplation, or tension. Paying attention to how and when people use silence can reveal a lot about their thoughts and feelings. Finally, tip 20 is understanding the confirmation bias. This is the tendency to favor information that confirms our existing beliefs and ignore information that contradicts them. If someone only listens to opinions that align with theirs, they're probably exhibiting confirmation bias. By now, you're becoming more adept at reading people, aren't you? Stay tuned for our final set of tips to further enhance your people reading skills. And finally, our last set of tips. Tip 21 is all about cultural differences. Remember, body language and social cues can vary greatly across cultures. What might be considered rude or aloof in one culture might be a sign of respect in another. So, familiarize yourself with these differences to avoid any misinterpretations. Moving forward to tip 22, empathy is your greatest tool. By putting yourself in someone else's shoes, you can better understand their emotions and reactions. Tip 23 underscores the importance of context. Always consider the situation at hand. Is the person stressed, excited? Context can drastically change the meaning behind someone's behavior. Tip 24, don't forget the power of silence. Sometimes the most telling clues come in quiet moments. And finally, tip 25, trust your gut. Your instincts are more accurate than you might think. And with that, we've covered all 25 tips. You're well on your way to becoming a human lie detector. So there you have it, 25 psychological tips to read anyone instantly. From understanding the nuances of body language, to deciphering subtle changes in vocal tone, to assessing the context of conversations and beyond. These strategies offer a powerful toolkit for navigating the complex landscape of human behavior. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use these skills wisely, and you'll find a whole new world opening up to you.